Greetings, all you blade lovers out there in YouTube land. OG Blade Reviews with you once again. What's on the table today? Another exquisite offering from Viper Knives, now owned by Fox Knives, by the way, from Italy. Okay. Viper is an Italian-made brand, so is Fox. So they've kept it all in country. And although it's not USA made, it may not be made in countries that you don't buy knives from. I get it. This is Italian. Buonasera. Good evening to you all. Good morning, good day, whatever that may be. We can't tell from the label on the box what the knife is, so let's pop her out. And you've already seen the thumbnail and read the title, so you know the name of what we're offering up today. This is just a gorgeous, gorgeous blade. They do such a fantastic job at Viper in Italy. And this is called the Safe, simply called the Safe, because it has a very interesting, I'm going to show you a screenshot here from Viper, very interesting type of lock that they're calling the ASLS, Automatic Safe Lock System. And you're going to get to see what that is in just a moment. But first of all, let's take a quick look around in the closed position. This particular model happens to be in a beautiful burlap brown micarta. They also come in a number of different woods and perhaps a G10, or maybe not. I don't think I could find a G10. This came from White Mountain, where you can get 10% off of your purchase by using my discount code OG-Blade, or my oldest but goodest one there, this old sword. That used to be me. Still is in a way. It's both a flipper, a back flipper, as well as a thumb stud. Let's talk quickly about that thumb stud. I already contacted Justin at White Mountain and said, hey, this was all sealed in the box and everything, but they forgot to put the other side of the thumb stud on. So he has reached out to Fox, and they're sending him one. I don't know how long it'll take, but I didn't want to hold up this review. By the way, never happened before on any Viper knife, and I've got a few with thumb studs. So yeah, and couldn't get thumb studs from other knives to fit on there because of the small diameter of the hole. But that's a threaded shaft, and you got one of these that goes on the other side and screws on. Meantime, it works on the right hand. And look at that blade, high flat grind. And what did they use? M390. Thought it was Magna Cut. I think I got another one in Magna Cut. We'll find out in a moment. But M390, they say their M390 is at least 60 HRC. And that is good to know. I know there's been a lot of question about M390 and Magna Cut on Italian knives, but I believe they've addressed that now, and they are paying attention to giving us higher HRC numbers. So here is the interesting feature that is this automatic safe lock system. It is a liner with exposed liners, no weight relieving because they're fairly thin liners. But here we've got a little interesting addition to the liner. Notice how that part moves, and there is a pin up in here that is going into the liner, I believe. And this will not close. You cannot push that liner to the side without first pulling down and then over. So it's a little extra action there, but really not much at all. Deep carry clip, which is not unfortunately switchable to the left side of the knife, but it is deep carry. and they are using a milled-in clip with flat-headed screws. So smooth, smooth, smooth. And it's got some pretty good flex to it. It's a fairly thick stock, and I believe it's steel. No, look at that. Titanium. Isn't that sweet? So we've got a thicker titanium clip. Thought it was steel, but I was wrong. And let's open it up again and check the liners, shall we? They are steel. Okay. And, the price of the knife isn't too bad. I think these are coming in. Well, you'll get the price when I send you when I put the link in the description. Big knife, though, and we're going to measure it up and get into some of the other features later. You can see that it is a Tanto sort of a blade without the demarcation grind. You can barely see, you've got some smudgies on there, because it is like kind of like a polished stonewash or bead blast. I'm not sure what you call it, but it's not mirror by any means. It's not truly polished. But you can see a very slight line there where the flat grind of the tip meets the flat grind of the main blade. And there you can see that secondary point. So we could call it a Tanto. I probably will in the description, although not by your usual standards. It does present the potential issue that with a few sharpenings, unless you're stopping here and restarting here, that little hump is going to disappear, and you may very well just want to turn it into a drop point, with a forward belly. That will happen once you go pass through that area a bunch of times. So that's kind of up to you. I don't necessarily like that blade format, but that's what they did on this one. And it's still a fine knife. 8 3/4 inches overall, and a 3 3/4 inch blade with an edge a little more than that, like a 3.85, let's say. Let's get to some of my other measuring instruments. In millimeters first, we're going to partially close it. And we've got a 4mm blade stock. Pretty nice. We've got a 17.6mm handle thickness, and it is a contoured handle. It rounds down towards the top and the bottom there. Going to switch to inches, and this blade stock, let's do the same thing. This blade stock in inches, 0.15, and across the handle, 0.66. Okay. Some may call that thick. You may want to call that thick. But I'm calling it hand filling, and not in a bad way. There's your contouring of the handles. So it's only in the dead center that it sort of fits into the palm nicely, Let's get the scale fired up and reset something here on the side that fell down. There we go. Okay. What do we got? Let's move to grams. And in grams, we've got 160.65 ounces. We've got 5.67, we'll call it. Okay. So the back flipper, how's the detent? It's really nice. Thumb stud, fires right out. Can we shake it open? Yep. We still have what I would call a crisp detent, however. Really, really nice. And it's a good sized knife, you know, got an inch and a half, almost 2 inches maybe remaining when I grab it. And we've got some really effective jimping. One thing, if you haven't seen some of these Italian knives before from Viper, that's a crowned spine right to the tip. And we've got some pretty good meat at the tip. This is a good working knife. Could be tactical as well. Have kind of a bow in the middle of the handle here, drops down, and it slightly dishes out. And look at that backspacer, also crowned. And a hidden lanyard pin. Nice. Got no obstructions there to the profile, no hole. Really nice. And they even crowned the bottom part of that backspacer. And even, if you can see it, slight rounding to the liners. Crazy stuff. Barrel spacer here in the middle, and it is a solid knife. That lockup, nothing moves, nothing wiggles, no lock rock, no blade play whatsoever. And they set this little thumb stud way back here, so it's out of the way for your slicing. Got a little bit of a sharpening choil here. I think that'll work out okay. You guys that are picky about your sharpening choils and plunge grinds. And I think we've got a fair amount of meat there. You know, the only knives I've seen that are completely worn like in half are those old boning knives and so forth that sort of start out skinny, or some kitchen knives that just get hit the grinder from time to time rather than sharpening stone. So there you go. It, you know, your mileage is going to vary. It depends upon what you use a knife for and how you sharpen it, right? How often do you wear away the edge and how often do you bring it back? All right. This one, for compare, is one I previously reviewed that has the same locking system. And this is the Keeper 2, boldly branded, and you may find that there's a little too much branding on there for you. This one's in Elmax, right? Really nice steel. Some may prefer it over M390. Really not sure. They've got a name for this carbon fiber. It actually is a carbon fiber with titanium in there. It's beautiful. It's a far bit more slick than what we've got going on here. That's much grippier, but it's a sweet knife. And look at that nice little cutout they make there for the liner. Also deep carry, but they handled this a little differently in that you can take that clip and swing it over to the other side for your left-handed carry because it attaches on the pommel. And that's a cutout there. Hope I have it in the frame. But same nice rounding, crowning of that spine. And I think we got a little thinner blade stock on this one. Let's see. Go to millimeters. Yeah, 3.4 millimeters. So about half a millimeter thinner. Maybe a little slicier. Whole different kind of profile on the blade. Much piercier. But still, you know, plenty of edge there. Let's do this. We didn't do a sharpness test. And I happen to have some paper on the side here. So let's see what we got with the Viper Safe. Yeah, I'd say it's safe to say. It's quite sharp. Nice keen edge on that. It's a solid knife. I mean, and you've got that added safety of the safe locking system there. Now, how about their fixed blades? They also make a beautiful fixed blade. Look at this Arctic Storm fat carbon on this Lille 2, Lille2. And this is a Vox design. By the way, Fabrizio Silvestrelli designed both of these. And this is a Voxnays design in Elmax also. They make a small fixed blade that holds so well. This portion here fits right in the palm beautifully. Shorter blade on that, but a really nice working blade, kind of a sheep's foot design. They make excellent sheaths for their fixed blade knives. Locks in there, got a nice little push off there for your thumb. And my favorite, I'd say probably one of my favorite fixed blades of all time, is the Handy, the Viper Handy. They make two versions of this. I don't know if the other one's called Handy 2 or what. That's kind of a simple name for a sophisticated knife. But this one also, just a gorgeous handle. I don't know if they did it on this one. Nope. Look what they did on this knife. It's weight relieved, as the Ultim handle will show you. Big old hole in the middle. It gives you a really nice balance right back about there. Tapered tang. Where have you seen this other than custom knives? I'm sure probably there's another production knife maker who's done it, but it's a lot of trouble to taper that so that you get that lightness and that balance. Just beautiful. Nicely swedged here. It's a good working knife or a good tactical defensive knife. Excellent jimping. I've got one more of these in like a fat carbon handle, dark matter, fat carbon, I think. This one's MagnaCut, by the way, CPM MagnaCut. You would think this is a small knife, and if you got big hands, it isn't going to work. Maybe if your pinky comes down here a little bit more, that would be maybe a little small for you. But I just love it. And look at the contouring they did this way. Was one of my more popular reviews when I reviewed this knife, or its dark matter cousin. Also a sheath that works extremely well. So what can we compare this to? Well, let's get this guy out. The Griptilian Benchmade is a shorter knife by at least an inch and a shorter blade by maybe like a ½ inch. So 3 3/4 is, not anything to sniff at. Here is my Rat 1. A brain fart there. Just about the same length as the Rat 1. How about that? With a blade, about the same. So it's a big, long knife. And one other for compare was in the pocket today, the Cold Steel Carve, which I'm really enjoying with the Atlas lock. It's also a 3 3/4 inch blade. Yeah, maybe, depending upon where you measure from, could be a little longer. It's got this appendage out here that they put on it. I'm not really caring for. That's kind of, I guess you could use it as a glass breaker, skull crusher, whatever. But they kind of tacked it on as almost an afterthought. You could actually probably cut that right off, but not in the plans in the near future. Same size knife, pretty much, though. There's your Atlas lock. That's the newest Andro Demko invention, I was going to say. All right, well, the Viper Safe, coming in a number of different handle materials, mostly a lot of woods besides this micarta. I'll give you the link and you can check them out at White Mountain. Don't forget, 10% off if you use OG-blade or old sword. Take care, and you be safe. And right about now, you're going to see my logo. Click on it if you'd like to subscribe. And if you haven't subscribed yet, you'll be notified when new videos drop. Be well and take care.